Conservative Hollywood, it does exist. I'm Ann-Marie.
I'm Victoria.
I'm Jannique.
I'm Jennie.
And with us today is movie and TV star and a conservative actress, Morgan Brittany, on this episode of
PolitiChicks!
Our guest today, Morgan Brittany, began her career as a child in an episode of The Twilight Zone. From there, she's been in almost every movie and TV show you can think of, from Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds as a child actress to the TV show Dallas, where she played Catherine Wentworth, the evil woman who killed Bobby Ewing. Morgan, we are so happy to have you today.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
Yeah.
Number one, conservative in Hollywood,
Absolutely.
right? Okay.
How many
All
times have
right.
you been on Sean Hannity's show?
Oh, it's been quite a few. I've been showing up on the Great American Panel for the past 3 years, I'd say.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so it's been great. And you know something, in the very beginning, trying to come out as a conservative in Hollywood is not an easy thing to do because, as everybody knows, Hollywood is very biased to the
Is it
liberal
really?
side. Yes.
But
Yes, it
what
is.
do you think most conservatives are afraid will happen? Like, what do they feel will be the repercussions if they do come out?
It isn't that we're afraid. We know.
Okay, well, very good
we
point.
know.
So what do you know that will happen?
Once they know that you're either, and I hate to say this, but if you're religious or Christian and you're a conservative and you have conservative values, or you support the Republican Party or you speak out on behalf of a Republican candidate, they don't want to be around you. They don't want to listen to you. They don't want to hear you. It makes them uncomfortable to be in the same room with you. They don't want to act with you. I never could understand this, but it was strange because I never had a problem if I knew someone's political beliefs. I had no problem. They're just actors to me.
Yeah, it's a total
but that's
double
the
standard, isn't it?
tolerant left,
Oh, yeah.
and this is what you
When
get.
did you become a conservative?
I always was on the conservative side, I guess, but I never really thought much about politics. I went through my teens and my 20s, completely oblivious to politics, completely unaware of everything going on, and little
you
by
were a Democrat,
little.
though, weren't you?
In high
at first?
school, I was.
Yeah.
I worked for Robert Kennedy's campaign, and
Tell that story. This is crazy.
Yeah, it was the idealistic. I guess all kids go through this, I guess. But I was supposed to be at the Ambassador Hotel the night that he was shot. And I was ill and I couldn't go, and I remember watching the television because I couldn't be there. And it just hit me so hard because I had already gone through the John F. Kennedy. I remember I was working an episode of Lassie at the time, and they came on set and said, "The president's been shot." And all of us went, "What?" And sure enough, they shut everything down and sent everyone home. But this is the second time that happened, and then the Martin Luther King. I mean, it was just one thing after another in the 60s. But I've always been on the conservative side. Just my beliefs and my Christian values and my morals, my deep-seated morals have just guided me toward the conservative side.
But did you have Christian parents? How are you a Christian in Hollywood? How did you become a Christian?
I'll tell you, God really intervened in my life, really did, because I had a career as a child, like I was saying. From the time I was 5 years old, I started in the business in 1956. And I had a childhood career all the way up to when I did Yours, Mine, and Ours in 1967.
With Lucille Ball
With
and
Lucille
Henry
Ball
Fonda.
and Henry Fonda, right. So after that was over, I kind of hit an awkward, gawky stage. And the phone stopped ringing. And I was
You did?
Oh,
You
yeah.
had a gawky
stage.
stage.
I did. I went through that teenage kind of weird, I don't know, it was bizarre. But the agents dropped me. Everybody sent my photos back. I picked up the extension phone one day when the phone rang, and they talked to my mother and said, "She's no good to us anymore. Have a nice life."
Wow.
So here I was, a child actor, thrust back into being a normal kid for the first time in my life. I didn't know how to deal with it. And I tried to go back to school, but I was an adult living in a children's world, basically, or high school world. And I got to such a point that I felt so worthless and useless that I really felt it was not worth it to live.
Wow.
And I remember one night literally falling on my knees and saying, God, if you're there, tomorrow morning when I wake up, I'm either going to die or you're going to save me. And I swear to you, the next morning I woke up and I knew I had a purpose. And I knew I was going to get my life together. This is what I knew, acting. If they didn't want me, I would figure out another way. As soon as I was able to, I moved to New York City. I changed my name. I threw out the resume. I started over. And God led me where I was supposed to go.
Wow.
And that's what saved me.
It wasn't always that way in Hollywood, though. I know, starting out with or going back to movies like It's a Wonderful Life in the 20s, and then coming, or 30s, I guess, and then coming up even with Clint Eastwood movies and Charles Bronson, with traditional conservative values.
Sure.
When do you see that it started switching, and what caused that?
It started switching in the early 60s. I could see it even as a child actor.
Yeah.
I could see where the storylines were going, the agendas that were trying to be pushed. More and more they were eating away at the values of the traditional American family.
Yeah.
You could see it, and that's where it was going. And think back, Louis B. Mayer and all of the heads of the studios at Paramount, Zanuck, all these guys, they were traditional, conservative, Republican guys. And what they did is they made films that appealed to the base of America, the all-American, patriotic, USA, everybody was together. Even the World War II movies, everybody was together.
It was good to be
patriotic.
patriotic.
It was good to be patriotic. Yeah. It was good to love your country. It was good to have a family. It was good to have values. Some of the early shows I did, grew up with, like Father Knows Best. I mean, you think about every single 30-minute episode had a moral purpose at the end of that. At the end of that show, the Andy Griffith Show, which I did,
she was Opie's first girlfriend.
Opie's first girlfriend. But everything, no matter where it ran through that 30 minutes, there was always that moment where the family sitting at home could look at the television and say, all is good with the world.
Now, what do you think it'll take to get that back? Some big director?
All of us.
Just going?
All of us. And the people out there that are listening. You have to write, you have to demand good things.
Absolutely.
You have to demand, and that's what Hollywood is doing now. Hollywood, we have a large conservative group of people, of writers, directors, actors. We're growing every day. And the conservative movement is really making inroads in Hollywood.
Do you feel that God is beginning to raise up a generation of conservative and specifically Christian young people, perhaps, and even artists in the industry?
I think so. It means it's very important to a lot of people, and there's an awful lot of films that are coming out now. I think Courageous, and there's other films that are like
Courage,
that.
New Hampshire, James Patrick Riley's
Exactly.
series is coming out.
And people are hungering for this. They want this. They don't want to see the decadent reality shows anymore. And I think maybe God put that there so that we could see.
Well, and even the last few years, the movies, with the One Night with the King, the story of Esther, and the Nativity story, C.S. Lewis.
It's, as Morgan said, it is going to be up to every one of us. We've got to we have to support conservative actors and actresses, even if they may be in a liberal movie. Go see their movie, support them, show them that you will be there for them. We'll give them our money.
PureFlix Entertainment, pureflix.com.
There you go.
There you go.
Thank you so much for being here with us today, and please join us again and next time on PolitiChicks.tv.
Let me entertain you. Let me make you smile. Okay, that's it.
And guest singer, yay!
All right.